الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. قال تعالى: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. صدق الله العظيم. Allah begins with the opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj with the words, Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, ittaqu rabbakum, have taqwa of your Lord. Taqwa is best translated according to its specific context. Sometimes it's better translated as being conscious and aware of Allah. Sometimes it's best translated as shield yourself from the fire. Sometimes it's best translated as shield yourself from those actions that lead to the fire. And sometimes taqwa is best translated as al-khawfu min al-jaleel, having a sense of awe and fear of Allah. In this ayah, the opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj, I would argue that having fear of Allah is best translated because of what comes next. Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, ittaqu rabbakum, fear your Lord. Inna zalzalat as-sa'ati shay'un 'azim. Verily, the earthquake of the hour, the day of judgment, is going to be powerful. It's going to be mighty. Read Surah Al-Zilzal to learn a little bit more about this earthquake. But in Surah Al-Hajj, Allah says, يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ مرضعة عما أرضعت. On the day of judgment, when that earthquake happens, you will see every nursing mother get distracted and abandon her child that she was nursing. In this world, that will never happen. A loving mother will never abandon the child that she is nursing. She may get sleepy, she may get exhausted, and in her sleep she may even nurse that baby, but she will never forget about that baby. She will never abandon that baby. But Allah says in Surah Al-Hajj, a time will come where that mother, not a mother, every nursing mother will abandon her baby. وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا. And Allah said, every pregnant woman will abort her pregnancy. Why? Ibn Kathir mentions it is due to the horrors of the day of judgment. Because of the intensity of the earthquake, Ibn Kathir writes, it will cause every mother to abort her pregnancy before the pregnancy has reached full term. Then Allah says, وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى. You will see people in an intoxicated state. وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. But they're not intoxicated. Why are they acting drunk and saying crazy things and doing crazy things as if they're drunk? But they're not drunk. They have seen the punishment of Allah. وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابَ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. The punishment of Allah, the torment of Allah is severe. These are the opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj. Yes, my respected listeners, Allah is Ar-Rahman. Allah is Ar-Rahim. Allah is Al-Latif. Allah is the most merciful. Allah is the most compassionate. Allah is the most kind. Allah is Ghafoor. Allah will forgive all of your sins. Allah will forgive the worst sin that you can think of if you come to Him with a sincere heart. As long as that sin deals with Allah, not with the people. Allah will forgive you. Allah is Ghafoor. But don't forget, Allah is also Shadeedul Iqab, as He mentioned in Surah Al-Hajj. He is severe in His punishment. Why did Allah select these verses to be the opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj? Why not talk about the fifth of Hajj in the opening verses of Hajj? Why not talk about how to perform the Hajj? Do this or do that? The first 26 ayatul karima revolve around the hereafter. When we go for Hajj, Allah wants us to visualize the day of judgment. And that gets so engrossed in the fiqh. The fiqh is important. The jurisprudence of how to perform the Hajj is important. Because there are people who are on the other extreme. They'll say, as long as you have a clean heart, it doesn't really matter how you pray. It doesn't really matter if you miss a spot in wudu, or if you miss a spot in your arm, or in your foot, or in your heel. If you miss a spot, Allah is Ar-Rahman, Allah is Ar-Rahim, Allah is Ghafoor. Allah will forgive you as long as you have a clean, sincere heart. That's the other extreme. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم. If you're going to perform the Hajj, you have to do it properly. If you're going to perform the Salah, you have to do it properly. If you're going to perform the wudu, you have to do it with ihsan. You got to do it properly. Don't conflate these two. There are some people that say, Imam, we just stop talking about the fiqh of wudu or the fiqh of Salah. Talk about more important things like poverty and climate change or gun control. These issues are actually affecting us. Why are we conflating these two? Yes, we want to become muhsineen, and one of the meanings of ihsan is to bring the act of virtue, the goodness to this world. We want to do that. But why do we have to degrade the importance of fiqh at the same time, of wudu? If your salah is good, then you're good in this world and the next. The key to the success in this world, the key to paradise is prayer. But the key to salah is wudu. Who are you to degrade the importance of the fiqh of wudu? The hadith is in Sahih Muslim, Kitab al-Tahara, the chapter of purification. Abdullah ibn Amr states that we had just come back from a journey, and his caravan, along with the caravan of the Prophet ﷺ, had arrived a little bit late. They had already started the Asr Salah, the afternoon prayer. Some of the Sahaba were in a rush to try to catch their prayer. So some of them just wiped their feet. They didn't wash their feet. They wiped their feet with water and they left their heels completely dry. What did the Prophet ﷺ say to these Sahaba? Did he say, don't worry, you guys, Allah is Ar-Rahman, Allah is Ar-Rahim, Allah is Al-Wadud, the loving. Allah is Ghafoor. Don't worry about that. Did he say that? No. He said, وَيْلٌ لِلْأَعْقَابِ مِنَ النَّارِ. Woe to those heels. Wayl is a threat. So wa'id. Woe to those a'qab, plural of aqib. Dry heels. Those dry heels may be part of the fire if we don't take care of our purification. Don't degrade fiqh, brothers and sisters. Yes, we should learn about the spirit of Hajj, and that's why Allah began the first 26 ayatul karima about the spirit of the Hajj, about the inner dimensions of the Hajj, about why we're going for Hajj. No need to belittle the fiqh. I hope that's clear. In this world, it's easy to get distracted, but when you go for Hajj, with the right intention, with the right heart, and you're performing the right actions, you won't get distracted. You won't get distracted. In this world, it's easy to get distracted. But that's why Allah began Surah Al-Hajj with these opening verses of of the Day of Judgment, so that we don't get distracted. Because on the Day of Judgment, we won't get distracted. Imagine in this masjid right now, imagine if everyone wasn't wearing any clothes. Would we be listening to the khutbah? We would be distracted. On the Day of Judgment, the Prophet ﷺ said, all of us will be barefoot, uncircumcised, and naked. Hufatan, uratan, ghurlan. Aisha radiallahu anha asked, won't we be distracted? الرجال والنساء جميعا, the men and the woman are going to be together, naked. ينظر بعضهم إلى بعض. They're going to be looking at each other, right? قال يا عائشة الأمر أشد من أن ينظر بعضهم إلى بعض. The matter will be more severe than people looking at each other's private parts. You won't get distracted. That's why Allah began Surah Al-Hajj with these opening verses of the Day of Judgment. Hajj is one of those actions, subhanAllah, if you do it right, and if you have the right intention, it will completely transform your life. You have an opportunity then to go from the worst of the worst to become the best of the best. And even in Hajj, there are distractions. The flight will be long. You may be tempted to watch movies on the flight. You may lose your luggage. You may not get the hotel that you were promised. Someone else may be in the hotel while you're in the hotel. There will be a lot of distractions. And there will be a bunch of opportunities for you to lose focus of what's important. But this is when we have to realign and go back to these opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj. In Mina, you may get distracted and you say, my bed is too hard. But then you look outside your tent and you see everyone sleeping on the floor. In Muzdalifah, you're going to be joining the rest of the millions of the Hajjaj and actually sleeping on the floor. If you get sick, and you most likely will get sick, if you have the wrong mindset with the wrong heart, you'll say, I have no one to take care of me. This is the worst day of my life. But if you have the right intention, and inshallah you will recover, a beautiful thing happens on your worst days when you put your trust in Allah. When you put your total trust in Allah, your worst days suddenly transform into your best days. This is the beauty of going through difficulties in this life. Next week, inshallah, we'll have a program titled The Beauty of Trials from 7:30 to 8:30 outside our masjid. Your tawaf is not going to go smoothly. How could it go smoothly when you have hundreds of thousands of people doing the tawaf at the same time? People are going to be breathing all over you, coughing accidentally all over you, kicking you, accidentally shoving you. But this is when we go back and visualize the opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj. Once again, visualize the Day of Judgment. I remember a few years ago when we performed the Umrah with our community, we had one more day in Mecca, Mukarramah. And I performed an extra tawaf, prayed more salah, read a juz of the Quran, and then after I had lunch, I said, I'm going to go back to my hotel and rest for a little bit. I went back to the hotel, and the person on the front desk said, sorry, you don't have a room anymore. I said, what do you mean? Our flight is until 1 a.m. Where am I going to rest? I said, your travel agent did not book any, you're done. You have to leave. I said, okay, let me just go upstairs and get my luggage. He said, no need. All of your luggage and belongings is right there in the hallway. All of my personal belongings, my passport, my phone, my credit cards, all of those valuable items were just there in the main hallway for anyone to take. After that, it was still there. I grabbed it. I was tired, so I went to the main lobby. I said, I'm just going to rest here for a little bit. I started dozing off. That same worker, the person who was in the front, he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, you can't sleep here. Okay? I think Allah is telling me that I need to go perform tawaf. So I had all of my luggage, my passport, my credit cards, and my phone with me. I don't like carrying that stuff, but I said, let me carry all this stuff and I'll do tawaf, an extra tawaf. So while I was doing tawaf, I was tired, I was walking much more slower than I'm used to. This person who's pushing his mother or grandmother on a wheelchair is going really fast and he just rams right into my foot. I was barefoot and there was a big gash on my foot. And because of the momentum of how fast he was pushing his grandma, it forced me to actually sit on top of his grandma. And of course, no 90-year-old wants a strange 30-year-old man, an unknown man sitting on her lap, so she starts pinching me while I'm on her lap. I'm like, Auntie, why are you pinching me? Pinch your genius son who was in control of the wheelchair. I get up, I look towards the sun, I'm expecting an apology, inshallah, I'm going to now calm down, but he faces towards the Qibla and he says, Allah mujhe maaf kar de. Allah mujhe maaf kar de. He says, Ya Allah, please forgive me. Ya Allah, please forgive me. So why are you asking Allah to forgive you? You hurt me. It's easy for me to laugh about it now, but at that time, it wasn't too funny. But you will have your own test when you go for Hajj. Allah will test you in your own unique ways. This is where you have to align and go back and remember the opening verses of Surah Al-Hajj. Visualize the Day of Judgment. Why are you going for Hajj? There's a documentary titled Inside Mecca. It's published by National Geographic, where it followed three Hujjaj, a Malaysian brother, a brother from South Africa, an African brother, and a female convert from the United States. It's very interesting to watch. I believe it's only 45 minutes or an hour. But one of the comments from the documentary, the sister who was a convert, she said something interesting. She said, I don't know why anyone would want to spend vacation money and spend a week with 3 million sweaty people in the heat of the desert unless they are doing this for the love of Allah. Whatever happens to you in Hajj, you realign and you remember the opening verse of Surah Al-Hajj, and inshallah you will earn Allah's love. And sometimes we forget. We get distracted about what's important. So I know some of you are visual learners. We all want a successful life in this world. We all want what's best for us and for our kids. We all want to be successful financially. But at the end of the day, how many years are we in this world? 20 years, 50 years, 90 years, 120 years max. Right, so the red represents this world. The green represents, you guessed it, the akhirah. And it just keeps going and going. وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. The year after is just going to keep going and going and going. And this world, you know, we're suffering in this world. We're desperate for this world. We want to be successful financially in this world. At the end of the day, look how much it is compared to the everlasting next world. So keep that in mind, inshallah, when you go for Hajj. That's one of the reasons why Allah began Surah Al-Hajj with a vivid description of the Day of Judgment. Linguistically, Hajj means that you are intending to do something great. And after uttering the Shahada, there is no act, no one single act that you can do that is greater than the Hajj. The hadith of the Bukhari and Muslim, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked, أَيُّ الْأَعْمَالِ أَفْضَلُ? Which deed is the best and most pleasing to Allah? He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replied, belief in Allah and the Messenger. After that, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, jihad, striving in the way of Allah. What about after that, O Messenger of Allah? He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a Hajj that is accepted. And if your Hajj is accepted, inshallah, you will return back to your home country the day, and as pure and as sinless, the day that your mother gave birth to you. That's also in Bukhari and Muslim. The technical definition of Hajj is visiting a specific place during a specific time and performing specific actions. Al-Hajj jihad. Hajj will always be a struggle. It is a struggle and there will always be a struggle. Doesn't matter if you have the basic package or if you have the VIP package. You're going to still sweat that same sweat. You're going to still wear that same ihram. You're going to go to the same jamarat and stone the same jamarat. You're going to go to the same plains of Arafah. You're going to go to the same Kaaba. Doesn't matter if you have the VIP package or the basic package. And physically speaking, and the reward for Hajj is great. It is awesome, as we just mentioned. But unfortunately, many of us, we want to go for whatever reason, financial reasons, or we were not selected, or physically we were not able to perform the Hajj. Whatever the reason is, there are a few deeds that we can do that will equal the reward of the Hajj. I'll mention 3 of those deeds in the next khutbah. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. The hadith in Tirmidhi is classified as Hasan. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man salla al-ghadata fi jama'atin." Whoever prays the Fajr prayer in congregation, ثم قعد يذكر الله حتى تطلع الشمس. Then he sits remembering Allah. And for the sisters, they can pray at home and they will still get this reward. Once again, whoever prays Fajr in congregation, and then they remain in their place, remembering Allah, and then he prays 2 rak'ah, كانت له كأجر حجة وعمرة. Then for him, is the reward of a completed Hajj and Umrah. Deed number one. Deed number two, the Prophet ﷺ said, Man ghada ila al-masjid. Once again, whoever leaves for the masjid in the morning, لا يريد إلا أن يتعلم خيرا أو يعلمه. And he or she has no reason to leave for the masjid except to learn something good or to teach something good. Then كان له كأجر حاج تاما. Then he will have the reward as if he completed the Hajj. Deed number two. Deed number three is Hadith al-Tabrani, the chain is Sahih. Anas reports, أتى رجل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said that I want to perform jihad, but ولا أقدر عليه. I cannot afford it. The Prophet ﷺ asked, هل بقي من والديك أحد? Are any of your parents alive? He said, yes, my mother. The Prophet ﷺ said, serve Allah by serving her. For verily, فإذا فعلت ذلك فأنت حاج ومعتمر ومجاهد. If you do that, then you will earn the reward of Hajj, you will earn the reward of performing Umrah, and you will earn the reward of being a mujahid. Three deeds that we can easily do, inshallah, and earn the reward of Hajj. Lastly, if you're going for Hajj, we have a Hajj seminar, inshallah, today at 7 p.m. Maghrib, feel free to come, inshallah. But one tip I want to share with you all right now is practice walking, especially with those same sandals that you are going to walk with in Hajj. Because if you are in a lot of pain in Hajj, your heart may not be in the Hajj. So practice walking. Speaking of walking, inshallah, alhamdulillah, our third annual post-Fajr community walk with the community will be starting tomorrow. Alhamdulillah, as of today, over 50 people have signed up. I think 57 people have signed up already. So feel free to come to Fajr tomorrow. It's around 4:18. And then at around 4:50, right after the Fajr prayer, we'll head to the Gurney Library. A personal trainer will lead us in warm-ups and in cool-downs. And we'll just walk on your own pace for about half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And this is good vibes. It's a nice way to start the morning. So it would be very nice to see you all there tomorrow, inshallah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب دعوات يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. تب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. عباد الله رحمة الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Please put yourself on some silence. Allahu Akbar.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد ومن الناس من يجادل في الله بغير علم ويتبع كل شيطان مريد كتب عليه أنه من تولاه فأنه يضله ويهديه إلى عذاب السعير الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين يا أيها الناس إن كنتم في ريب من البعث فإنا خلقناكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم من مضغة مخلقة وغير مخلقة لنبين لكم ونقر في الأرحام ما نشاء إلى أجل مسمى ثم نخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ومنكم من يتوفى ومنكم من يرد إلى أرذل العمر لكي لا يعلم من بعد علم وترى الأرض هامدة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبتت من كل زوج بهيج ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأنه يحيي الموتى وأنه على كل شيء قدير وأن الساعة آتية لا ريب فيها وأن الله يبعث من في القبور. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Permanently ill in Bangladesh, Allah Ta'ala grant this person a quick and painless recovery. وصلي على محمد وعلى آل محمد.